Welcome to Clozer Cult Podcast. I'm your host, Alma Merrill, and today we have my dear friend, Prechus Green in the house.
Hello.
Oh, the crowd loves you.
I love them.
So today we're going to talk about real estate. We got all kinds of things on the agenda. I want to learn more about this amazing realtor here in Florida. She's the first realtor I ever met in Florida, and I found her at an open house. And so we're going to chat it up and see why she's so successful, how she's done what she's done, and how you guys can do the same thing. All right.
Hello.
Precious, how are you?
I'm doing well, Alma. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's really good to have you in the studio.
Yes.
I'm a big fan, right? So I met Precious, like I was saying, at an open house, and she was doing this. The way she does her open houses is wild. Like I go in and I call it meats and mimosas.
Yes.
Because she's got meats and mimosas.
Yes, that is my favorite.
And it's and I walk in and it's like a party. There's like an entire flood of people going through the open house.
Yes.
And I was just like, I'm coming from Utah, and I'm like, what is she doing? Like, this is a party. I mean, literally, people are out by the pool hanging out. There's like people chilling.
Yes.
I mean, these are people that are coming to look at the house, and they're just kicking back.
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. When I put my name on it, I like everybody to have fun and, really make it open for the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Tell me this, like, let's get in a little deep with you. So why real estate for you? What was it about real estate that like called your name or?
Well, honestly, I didn't know it was going to be real estate. I was a bartender for a long, long time.
Uh-huh.
And I met a lot of people and was in front of a lot of people. And honestly, one day I met somebody who was a mortgage broker who had suggested that I do something like that. Now that was around the time, I don't know, when I was, in the bar business, maybe 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And, I heard it and I heard it again. And then I just, did better behind the bar and knew that I was going to sell. I just didn't know what I was going to sell.
Right. Yeah. You knew you were good. You'd be good in the industry or in sales in general.
Yeah.
You just didn't know what the product was you were going to be pushing.
I didn't know what it was that I was going to push. Yeah.
So how important is it for people to know that real estate is actually sales?
Honestly, I don't think, that's a big factor.
Let me ask you this. How important is it?
I'd say a good 40 to 50%.
Okay. 40 to 50. What's the most important part about real estate? Because I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to get into sales. That was me, right?
Yep.
And what I've found throughout the years is that real estate is a people game. It's a relationship game.
That's it. You took the words out of my mouth. 100% truly and believe that this business is structured around relationships. And that's what it was that I was doing. I was creating, cultivating all these relationships, just meeting strangers on a daily basis.
Right.
And, for whatever reason, they were fond of me. They liked me.
For whatever reason, I don't know.
And they kept coming back. And, if they could come back to my bar, I mean, why can't they stay in my life for, a long time? And
right. Eventually,
from serving those people drinks to selling them homes is really how it happened for me.
And really, that is like the brass balls. That's that's what happens, right? Like it's literally selling real estate is about everyone around you, right?
Correct. It's about their needs and, getting them to where they want to be.
That is so awesome. I love it because if people could understand that sooner, like the first couple of years of my business, I was terrible because I was so worried about what people thought. I was always lying about my numbers. I was always just fucking things up and not telling people. And it happens, right? It's part of the learning process.
Yep.
But once you get to that point where it's a connection game and it's there to serve people and help people and guide people.
Yep. Being genuine is super important.
How does that play into it? Tell me a little bit more about being genuine.
Being honest, not pushing someone to buy something that you wouldn't buy.
Yeah. If you were them, right?
If you were them,
Yeah,
put
right.
yourself in their shoes. I honestly, truly believe that you should do that. I do that with all of my clients, customers, friends, family. I try to, you know, explain it in a way where, like they want my opinion and then I tell them my opinion, but, I also try to, is this right for you?
Yeah, right.
Doesn't mean it's right for you.
You don't want somebody to be house broke, right?
Absolutely
Going to a
not.
house.
I don't want them to be house broke, and I don't want them to be calling me, a month, 6 months, 1 year into it with, homeowner's remorse,
Right.
buyer's remorse. Like, I don't want that,
Yes.
So I like to sleep at night. I love sleeping. And so, the last thing I'll want to wake up to is that ding on your phone. And,
Yes.
so I like it to be, you pick what you want and I'm going to guide you and tell you the right way.
I'm going to tell you a secret. So I've had this podcast for quite a while now. And the right when I met you, within 5 minutes, I'm like, not even that, 5 seconds. I was like, this girl I'm having her on that podcast at some point.
I love it.
Because you were so dynamic. When me and Jennifer came to that open house and we walked in, we were like, we felt so welcomed and so loved immediately. You're like, hey fam, come on in.
Yes.
Come on in, go have a drink, chill out by the pool, go check out the house, do your thing. And then we were just like, wow, that was like the coolest thing ever to have this person just, bring us in and guide us in. It was a great feeling. So kudos to you for being that person.
Thank you.
Because I really do think it's critical to have that environment for people, be welcoming, be open.
Yes.
And man, for us, it was such a great experience. Tell me this, how did you learn the processes of open houses and the successful, because you do quite a few open houses, right?
Yes.
And some agents don't do them.
Yeah.
So what makes a successful open house?
So first off, I know a lot of people don't believe in them, but I do.
Yeah. Why don't people believe in them? First off.
Well, it's one of those things. We've been in up and down markets, and open houses truly don't sell the house.
Right. Yes.
And so when people know that, they, say, well, what's the point of having it?
Right.
Well, there's so much more, and every time, you go out there, you're going to meet someone new. And, and that's really what it's about, because you don't know who that person is that's walking through the door.
Right.
You don't have to go in that day and say, I'm going to get this house sold. But in the back of your mind, be ready, because you just don't know who's going to come through that door. Yeah. And so many times, honestly, the house that I met you at, I think that was probably, since then it happened one other time. That was the first time I ever sold a house at an open house.
Oh, you did? Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
sold that
one of
weekend.
those buyers bought it.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I knew who it was, because
Yes.
we put an offer in on that house, or we wanted to,
Yes.
but we were like waiting for our Utah house to sell. And
Yep.
I remember just like the thought of like, crap, I'll bet it was that other couple that was there forever. And they were just like,
that house sold that weekend. And it happened again recently, just a couple months ago. But in 10 years, that's 2 times I can tell you that it's happened. And it doesn't go like that. But when you have a special house, regardless of it being special or not, this is the opportunity for you to get in front of people. You might have a, dried up,
pipeline.
And, this is just activity. This is putting you in motion, because, once you start doing things start happening.
I agree.
And, I take full advantage if it's an open house. My friends are probably on the boat, but you know what? I got to go over here for 2 to 3 hours and I'll meet them later.
Yeah.
I'm going to put on my best everything, and I'm going to, showcase this house as
Let's
best
talk
as I can.
a little bit about that. So, your friends are on the boat, you're doing this.
Yep.
What is that? I mean, what does that say about you, your work ethic, or what does somebody have to have as far as work ethic in order to make it in this business? Because it's not like having a job.
Yep. It's not like having a job. You have to have some mental structure. You have to have the want, the drive. It's all or nothing in this business. I really do believe that.
And you really do got to bring your A game in, huh?
Number one, A game. Be on top of it. We all have off days. We all have bad days. I learned, recently, like, to pay attention to what's going on inside of you, because when you do, then you're able to go out there and conquer the world. If you're having a bad day, maybe take a break that day. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yes.
But I always, if I have an open house, I'm telling you, I'm trying to prepare 24 hours before, because
Like mentally, emotionally. Let's talk about that game, because everything, stuff happens in life, right? Shit happens.
Yeah.
And so what do we do to put ourselves, you either have, you're having, let's say you have a relationship issue, or you have a family issue, or somebody's in the hospital.
Life's happening.
How do you keep on top of it? Or what do you do? Or what's been a method of yours? You said you start 24 hours before to prepare. What do you do to prepare 24 hours before to get ready for?
So I'm gonna do my best to, if there is something going on the night before, a gathering or whatever, I'm gonna try my best to be home at a decent hour. Okay.
Yeah, right.
I mean it, because it starts from the amount of sleep that you got that night. Just get up earlier. Okay. I'm getting up earlier that day. Whether I'm working out or going to get coffee, I'm doing it all, before people start moving on a Saturday morning.
Yes.
Okay. I'm already
getting
moving.
ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen you do that before. I've seen you at the coffee shop. I'm like, you introduced me to this coffee shop, so I'll go there. And I remember one morning I saw you there. I'm like, Precious, what's up?
Shout out to Pallet Coffee in Sanford. That is my stomping grounds. And I caught Alma in there slipping up on me a couple times.
Yeah, it was good. I was like stalking her, trying to find her, where she lived, where she hung out.
It was not too far from the open house we met at. Yes,
yeah,
it's right
true.
around. That's my.
I love Sanford. I love that whole area over there. So I spent a lot of time over there. My favorite little cigar shops over there. My favorite couple little spots. A prospecting spot that I go to is over in Sanford, right off the lake. So
very good. I love it there.
But I noticed that, like, you were on point. Like, you were on it. Like,
that was a big one for me. I'm going to be real with you. I have people that want to use me all over, but I feel like the majority of the people who I work with have a connection with me from past. And that family, I'm really good friends with their daughter. And
at the coffee shop there.
At the house.
Okay, the house that we met at. Yes, okay.
And just the whole preparing thing, like when I'm always trying to prepare, but when it means something more than just a sale, and these people are going to be in my life past this sale, I just feel like I go above and beyond. Because
now I have this curiosity. Me and Jennifer had this like thought process while we were there.
Yeah.
Was there somebody in the giant RV in the garage? Were they staying in the RV during the open house?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, they were not in there.
We walked in and we're like, the RV, I could hear like the generator on or whatever. And I was like, I'll bet they're in there while the open house is going.
They did good. They actually went on vacation while I sold that house. So
good for them.
Yep.
That house was so cool. I mean, the pool area, you just felt like you were on vacation when you walked in there.
What a beautiful home.
Yeah. And it wasn't like this grandiose, mass, like
nothing cookie cutter about it.
But there was nothing cookie cutter about the house. Mm-hmm. It was so well put together. It was so well like sorted, I would say.
Yes.
The whole pool area and the entertaining area and the back barbecue area and the garage, and I fell in love with it. I wanted to buy it.
I know. I wished I could have too.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. I got this. I like this one. I'm glad we got where we're at.
You have a beautiful home. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So tell me about. So once you get into communication with people, how do you stay in touch with people?
Well,
or how do you stay prevalent?
Prevalent. I mean, I'd love to talk to everybody every day. It gets a little bit draining to talk to people on a regular basis, but that's what we do for a living, you know? So
if you don't like talking to people, probably don't get in this business.
I would agree. This is not it. This is not it. That's something I do, and I feel like I do it well. And honestly, it's not something I do on purpose. People just come up to me and people just talk to me.
Right.
And so we just do it,
Yeah.
What was your question again?
So how do you stay prevalent in their minds? After you get to know them and you start talking to them, how do you stay
know them, obviously.
Because I see you on, well, you're probably just going to say social media.
So social media is a huge part of staying relevant, staying in front, top of mind. I believe in it. I get it. It's one of those.
You even got your guy here right now. He's literally filming in the studio right
Hi,
here next to
Miguel.
me. Miguel, come over here and just stand right behind her real quick.
Yes.
Let's give a shout out to Miguel here. All right, there he is.
Hey,
There's Miguel.
This is my guy, my hype man.
Her hype. Her entourage.
Yes.
Yeah, entourage.
Wherever I go, he goes.
He follows around. Yeah,
Yes.
he's the paid stalker. That's actually what it is.
Thank you, my love. So, he's a blessing. Actually, me and Miguel went to school together back in the day, and it was just one of those things. Like, life, went on, and we were Facebook friends, social media friends, and he saw what I was doing, and he reached out to me one day and said, "Hey, I started a business, and I'm doing this, that, and the other, and I think I can help you." And I sent him over a post that like a tester, say, "Hey, can you do this for me?" And he sent it back, and I said, "You're hired. Thank you."
That's awesome. And even though he's your friend, you're like, I'm still going to test him out, make sure it's right.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Because just being friends doesn't mean we can do business together.
Yeah, it does not.
Fair
mean
statement.
Not everybody is your tribe, you know. And
one of my to that point, and this is probably a good point for all people. One of my best friends, he was in my wedding, like everything. He's a lender, but we do friendship really well, but we don't do business well.
very good.
And
you understand that.
And we understand, and we tried it out. Tried it out. I love the guy. He's like one of my buddy Steve. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. Mm-hmm. And we just don't do business well, but we do friendship really well.
I love it.
And so I think it's important for people to realize, like, that's okay. If you do friendship really well, keep your friendships.
Correct.
If you do business really well, continue with the business side.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Not all of my friends do business with me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But there are just some people who love you in every aspect.
Yes.
And wouldn't use anybody else.
That's true. And to that point, I have another best friend, my buddy Jason, and I've done tons of transactions with him, and he just trusts me.
Yeah.
And he knows that I'm looking out for him, and he
Yeah.
does what I ask him to do in the process, and so it turns out to be really good.
And to your point there, the trust.
Yeah.
So big.
Yeah.
It's so big. I mean, without that in any relationship, business, financial, love,
Yes.
without it, it's nothing. And it's a big deal. This is one of the biggest purchases in someone's life. And, if they trust you, I think you're like 100% ahead of the game.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can I go a little bit deeper with you?
Please.
Can I ask you some personal questions?
Okay, why
Let's take a risk, shall we, Miguel?
goodness.
Let's take a risk. Where did you come from? How did you grow up?
Okay.
What brought you to this point? Because being highly successful is a choice. Would you say?
I 100% agree that it's a choice. It's a choice that I definitely chose for myself.
Why not drywall? Why not why not home repair? Like why real estate for you?
Well, honestly,
Why not a mechanic? I mean, I know I know you have a love for trucks.
I do love trucks, and I love my baby, my truck out front. But listen, I definitely, I'm a hands-on girl, so I can't say that I wouldn't be good at any of those jobs.
Of course.
Okay. Usually when I put my mind to something, I do it.
Just get it.
You there's a lot of falling and failing, but I'm trying to fall and fail forward,
Which is a great book, by the way, Failing Forward.
Where I come from, not much, to be honest with you. I have a large family, huge family, lots of nieces and nephews, and everybody's, I feel's mindset was a little different from what mine was as I was growing up.
Were you a little different, and you felt a little different the way you thought and the way you
I
focused on things?
Yeah, I do think that I was different. I don't think that I expressed it much, but inside I felt that, whatever this is they're doing, where I come from, love everybody, but I'm going this way, I'm close and dear with everybody. Everybody's, I can reach out and touch them. But for the most part, I'm doing my own thing.
You're a phenomenal relationship person. I realize that.
Yeah. I think it's just a natural thing. And it took me a long time to even accept that,
Why?
Well, it's I'm an energy. It's energy and vibes, okay? And a lot of people want my energy, and I learned that not everybody deserves your energy. And what happens is you can be in front of someone that you may love, but they're sucking you dry, and you don't
Right.
even know
Yes.
it. And once I figured that out, I started to kind of place myself around people when I had the energy for them,
Right. Okay. Yes. So
because
are you pretty picky about who you give your energy to?
yeah, I am. I do have a ton of friends and associates, but when I come out, when they see me, it's like we never missed a beat because
Yes.
I might not be there every weekend, I might not be at every event, but when I'm coming with it with all the energy that they know me for,
Right.
So it's I don't know, it's a relationship. I believe in it. It's big. It's really big in this business,
Yes.
and without relationship, genuine relationships, it's nothing.
And let's talk a little bit more about like the online presence and stuff like that. What do you do for your online presence? Like with Miguel, like what happens? Miguel comes out, he does video, does audio, he does all
Yep.
this stuff for you.
Yep.
And then what do you do with that? Where does it go?
So that's a good question. Miguel would be able to tell you that. But, as far as distributing on platforms, I'm just on, your normal TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
What's your most important platform for you, in your opinion, just in your personal business?
So in my personal business, I would honestly have to say my personal Facebook.
Facebook. Okay.
Personal. And I try my best to only post a few things on there and put things on the business. Because I don't want to flood everybody's timeline with Precious
Right.
is doing this and she's doing that, But what I've learned is it's a work-life balance.
I need to tell you this though, it is entertaining. Like, I like it when your stuff comes over my feed because you're entertaining and it's
Yes.
fun and you're like goofy and
Yes.
you're
I'm just
dancing and you're
being
doing
myself.
You're being you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm being
you're
myself.
controlling the vibe, right?
That's it. And people on an online presence can read through you. And I just try my best to be, as genuine and as fun and
Yes.
and lighthearted as possible.
Would you say that the person who's going to choose you to work their real estate deal for them, you need to be top of mind for them through that process?
100%. And not all, because like I said, there are some people in your tribe where
That will never use anybody else no matter what,
they
right?
wouldn't
Yeah.
think. They don't even read the contract. They're like, you sent what? Okay, I signed.
Signed, yep.
I have that tribe. I have them, and I love
Yes.
them. And then there's others who they may trust me. They have that factor. But maybe they know 10 other realtors, and or maybe they know several other brokers, I've dealt with someone, a friend of mine, his sister is in the business, and he called me to close this deal.
That's when you know. That's when you know. That's when you know you're
And
good.
I mean it. And it's not when you get that call, I mean it. I will try. I don't like to step on anybody's toes. And this
Right.
business is very catty like
It
that.
is catty like that. Yeah, a
And-
lot of time, especially in Florida. I learned.
Yes.
I'm trying to bring the tribe to you from Utah to Florida because Utah has a very loving, caring.
Yes.
They spend a lot of time like helping each other and guiding each other, and we've really created over the years in the Utah market a great tribe like that. Even amongst the agents. Like they love seeing their friends succeed. They love seeing their friends have more and do more and be more.
Yeah.
And
Building each other up.
yeah.
Yeah.
And is that something you want to bring more of here in the Florida
Absolutely.
real estate market?
Absolutely. I think we have it. I just think that there's so much competition
Yeah.
and it should be more, doing deals together,
Yes.
collaboration,
Yes.
instead of competing and sneaking and snaking,
Yes.
But but that comes with the bigger the check,
Yep.
the bigger the chance there is going to be something like that
Yeah.
happens.
You know what I had to do? Because for a while I was like competition, right? But then when I really started to, and it was hard at first to go, oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad that you made it. I'm so glad that you did this or this in your business. But what I realized was that once I started doing that, my business became better. My business became easier.
Yes.
When I started championing
Other
other people,
Congratulating, cheering
Yes.
them on, supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so years ago, I learned that the more you help others and grow others and push others, the
That's
more
it.
you yourself will grow.
That's it.
And
That's it.
progress.
What's Zig Ziglar saying? The more people you help, the better. What is it? The more people you help,
The more you'll be helped, or the more you'll receive.
Yeah, it's something like
Yeah.
that. You guys know, don't quote me, but
Don't quote her.
It's Zig Ziglar, and you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And it's true, putting yourself out there, and it's a numbers game,
Yeah.
help more people and you'll get more.
Now,
you
what
know?
skills have you learned? Because people say it's a numbers game, and it is, right? Because the more people you talk to, the more people you can help. That's the numbers part of it. But really, in order to close something, what skills, because it is even more a skills game when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
What skills have you learned in your career? And how many years have you been in business?
So, as a broker, off on my own, I'm coming up on I'm in my 6th year.
6th year as an independent
broker. Yes.
Okay.
And I have been in real estate for 10 years. And for the first 2 years, I did commercial sales.
Oh, okay, cool.
Strictly.
Awesome. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yes.
Like
where I
multifamily stuff or like
it was
like commercial buildings, that type of
commercial
thing?
leases.
Okay.
I landed a pretty big listing in my first, few months. It was a commercial building. I did a couple of leases. I learned and met some big dogs.
Cool, because I'm going to ask you some questions about the local commercial market.
Goodness, yes. But I did that, and I kept a lot of contacts. But ultimately, getting in with that commercial broker back then, love her to death. Oh my God, Marie Boyle with Powell Kuiper. She's my mentor, love, everything. So the lady taught me a lot in a little bit of time. And then in the end, she told me, I want you to be happy and do what you want to do. And if it's selling houses, then you need to go sell houses. And that's what I did. I literally went and actually my first sale was my first house.
Oh, was it really your own property?
My own property, which is now a rental property for the last 7 years. I've owned it. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So, and it just keeps going.
That's
But,
awesome.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. If you could go back in time, your first realtor moment, you got your license, you're all happy.
Yes.
You're excited to move forward. You have this goal in mind, this plan. What would you tell yourself, or what would you maybe even do differently that you probably would do? Like what would you tell yourself now, or what would you do differently in that process?
What would I tell myself? I would tell myself that I could do it. As hard as it was, as many tears as I shed, I just didn't give up. Most people probably wouldn't admit this, but it took me 4 tries on the real estate exam.
Really? Yeah.
It did. I was 26, 27 years old. I was still hanging out. I was still, living life.
Partying, playing.
I vividly remember, guys, I went to real estate school, right? Passed the school test, and you're supposed to be right in studying to go take that state board.
Right.
I went to Key West for 7 days, and it was a bachelorette party, and it's like I just remember,
YOLO, you only live once.
I wasn't ready. It was a mental thing. You have to be ready, and I wasn't. And so once I, realized that I wasn't, I focused in and, I took the test 4 times, all within, a 2-week span.
So it's okay, you guys. It's okay to fail the test 4 times.
It's okay. I failed it 3 times. I passed on the 4th.
Oh, you passed on the 4th. Okay,
Yes.
just for clarity.
Clarity.
Okay.
Yeah. And people don't talk about it, but you know what? Whatever,
It's just okay if you do. I know a gal who did 18 times, not 8 times, 18 times.
See?
See, but she did it. She
she's
passed.
Successful now.
And she's successful now.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know, like I just didn't give up. I wanted it.
Do not freaking give it. That's what she taught me. Because when I went, because I got my Florida license after having a Utah license for like 20 years. And I was like, oh man, like I hope I pass. Like I was so nervous. I was way more nervous about my Florida exam than my Utah exam.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Like I felt like I knew all this stuff. And
because it was out of your realm, I bet you.
oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's not really, but it is.
Right.
You know, and
it was new. Like there was a ton of new stuff, different terms,
kudos.
like different, you know.
I give you so much props. You
Thank
know,
you.
I remember meeting you and you saying that you guys were coming here and this, that, and the other. And on the inside of me, I'm like, wow, they can just pick up. You know, they're about to start their lives over in Florida. Like, don't think he knows that many people down there.
I knew nobody. I had one friend here, like one person I know. Yeah.
See, and that's
his
amazing.
wife.
Like, you know, like I haven't looked that far. Like I'm trying to conquer here.
Yes.
But imagine if, you know, I had
Well, just so you know, like you don't need to leave. Florida's the best state in the world. It's the best state in the United States.
I'm
best
a native.
place to live.
I'm a native.
That was my other question, if you were a native or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
Born and raised. I was born in DeLand, Florida.
Oh, cool.
I'm a Volusia County girl.
There you go. V-Town.
Got it naturally. You know, when I grew up there, it was a lot more rural, super country, and we've just grown. It's one of the you know, cheapest places to live in Central Florida.
Which is crazy to me because it's so beautiful.
I know.
And the people's land out there,
I
and
know.
it's just gorgeous in DeLand.
And when I say cheapest, I just mean that because it was rural.
Right.
But now there's almost 100,000 people that live in Deltona alone.
Right, yes.
So things have changed.
Yeah.
And we're conforming.
Did you say Deltona or DeLand?
I was born in DeLand, but raised in Deltona.
In Deltona, okay,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But you're right next to each other, basically.
Same little, it's called West Volusia County.
Yeah.
So I've lived in all those cities, and I call that home.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know that area really well.
Yep, like the back of my hand.
So tell me about like some of what would you say in Florida are some of the really up and coming areas as people have moved in, as people are moving to Florida? What's up and coming? What would be a good value, I think, to that point of the dollar for dollar that you've seen kind of in this Central Florida area?
So in West Volusia County, I hands down believe you're going to get the most bang for your buck.
Okay.
Okay. They built big houses out there. And, you know, like I said, times have changed, so they're a little more, but you're always going to get more house for less money as you come over into Seminole County versus Orange County.
And then for people who don't know the area, that's about what you'd say 30 minutes from Orlando proper, right?
You know, on a perfect day,
with the right traffic,
on a perfect Sunday morning when everybody's in bed, you could probably get there in 30 minutes. Okay,
driving the right vehicle.
Driving with a heavy foot like myself, I can get you there in about 25 minutes.
Is that why you're always on time?
Is that really? I was on time today, but I was in the car fixing myself. So
that's all right.
But, you know, I say 30, 45 minutes. If you got an accident, chop it up to an hour. I'm sorry, you know. But, you know, a $300,000 house in Deltona is $400,000 house in Orlando.
Right.
You know,
that makes sense. Yes.
And give or take, but you get where I'm going.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're going to have probably more land.
You're going to have more land. You know, you're not going to, you know, the community's growing. You know, I would never just push people back that way, but I'm just telling you what I know.
Yeah.
I sell all over Central Florida. Okay. Yes. And you're just, you know, if you want to live in Orlando, you got to live in Orlando. You're going to pay to live in Orlando, period.
Okay. And what's your favorite beach community in your opinion?
New Smyrna.
Oh, you just lit up when I said that.
Well, you know what? So again, Volusia County girl. Okay. Our mom took us to the beach. Okay. You know, I fish. We did all those things. And New Smyrna was the beach that we grew up on. I actually own a home in Ormond Beach. And it's an Airbnb. Another great bang for your buck, okay? I tell people those numbers about the little Airbnb that I have over there.
Right.
And they lose their mind often, okay? I just bought it at the right time. and it's 5-minute walk to the beach.
I was at
okay?
this little house in Huntington Beach, California the other day, and I go through this open house, and it's about 3 blocks from the beach, a decent distance. And I was like, wait a second, like, how much is this house?
Right.
And they're like, oh, it's 2.5. And I'm like, it's tiny. It's not even on the beach. It's not even on the water. And you come here and I'm like, I can buy an $80,000 condo. Now it's like a 1-room thing, but I could buy an $80,000 condo right on Daytona Beach or in a little high rise or whatever, or a nice little house.
Yeah.
It blows my mind how inexpensive this stuff is out here.
Yeah, and everybody's catching on.
Right.
So
you look disappointed about that.
no, it's great for me.
Hey, as long as we sell them, the house,
it's great
okay.
for me, but let me get a couple more first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need to, and that's the thing. The idea is actually creating your own wealth, right?
Correct.
Because it's not really just turning houses. It's actually getting into where you can have your own properties like you do.
Multiple streams.
Create wealth, have multiple streams of income.
Yes. I'm in it to win it. When you say real estate, there's so many different ways to get in. And I'm trying my best to, do it in different ways.
Yes.
I believe in it. I believe in it, guys. I mean it. My mother and father are still here today, and they will never own a home. And they never have. And it's just one of those things.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. My dad never owned a home. And actually he's just went under contract on his very first home.
And how old is he?
He's 80. He's 80.
God bless him.
Imagine, isn't that rad though?
Imagine.
There you go. All the ladies love my dad for buying his own house.
Go Pops. I love it. I love it. Well, my father is 78, so, that would be, if I could do it for him, which every day I'm working towards goals like that, that would be amazing, to put him in something, that he could call his own.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what's your goal for that? What's the next thing that Miss Prechus Green is getting into? What trouble are you getting into in the real estate world or the investing world up next?
So that's a good question. So we talked about that first house, my first property that I bought in 2017. I'm considering selling that and in the next year. I just painted it. I just tried to, do a little bit to it for my tenant.
Right.
And after doing it, something came over me and said, I think it's time to reinvest this one.
Ching, cash out, baby. 2017, you got some equity going there.
Yeah. So, my heart is telling me, it's time. I'm just not sure when I'm going to pull that trigger.
Now, what would you do with that if you were growing your business, you wanted to increase your net worth, you're going to sell that house, take the proceeds, and then go do what?
So I have a couple things in mind.
She's like, I'm buying a Ferrari.
No, thank you. I'll stick to my Ford truck.
She's a pickup girl.
As pretty as those cars are, no thank you. More money, more problems. I'm good on that.
But you look fantastic in a cowgirl hat, by the way.
Thank you. I should have worn my hat today.
And your boots.
Thank you.
I went to one of our open houses and she's cowgirled out. You got your boots, you got your hat, you got your pickup truck, and it just was the perfect scene ever. And we just chilled and sipped mimosas on the back porch. It was awesome.
Saddle up, cowboys.
Saddle up.
What was your question?
I don't even remember what my question was. We got lost in the moment.
In the moment.
What's your next goal for?
That's right. So if I sell that house.
Yeah.
When I sell that house, I do have some plans. So right now I live downtown Sanford.
Okay.
In an awesome house that I love with a pool. And in that backyard, there is a very large shed that I am considering turning into a 1-bedroom, 1-bath ADU, and making that an Airbnb. As you know, that's going to take some funds. And so I have that in the back of my mind. And then also to just reinvesting those funds right away. If I can get 2 doors or 3 doors at one time, that would ultimately be what I'm trying to do. And then one more other thing. So I got the ADU in the back of my house in Sanford, buying a multiple door unit. And if none of that I'm going to flip it. I'm going to try to.
I love that.
I'm going to flip.
I love the
skip it.
multi-family stuff. I mean, I just think if you can get multiple doors on one parcel and you're making multiple
Yes.
streams of income,
Yes.
best scenario, right? Ideally.
Yes. I always, just how I got into real estate and I said I knew I was going to sell and didn't know what I was going to sell. I believe in this, and having more doors is my dream.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like it to be, and I know if you speak on it more, it comes to
Yes.
fruition.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about it because I'm getting into some heavy, like 80 unit, 100 unit multifamily things.
Big
So yeah,
stuff.
let's get cranking.
I love it. You know, I'm in it. I really want to, and I might be on a slower scale. I don't have a backing, guys. Everything I do and the places I go and, the people I cultivate, it's me. It's
Right.
just me.
And that's what tell me more about that. Like your motivation, it intrigues me, the way that you're motivated, because you are self-motivated, right?
100%.
And pretty much self-taught.
Yeah.
And obviously self-made. So let's talk to the other young ladies out there, the other girls out there, the other women.
Yeah.
The girl power is so important in life.
Yes.
I think the world is opening up to girl power,
Yeah.
and they're starting to realize that women are just as capable as any other human on the planet.
Yeah.
And so let's talk to that point. Like what drives you, what powers you, and what tells you yourself, or what do you use to motivate you to stay on top of your game?
So, my biggest motivation is just to be comfortable. And what I mean by that is wake up when I want to, go where I want to, eat what I want to.
I love that.
I'm sorry. I've been in the work field for a very long time. I started working at
Why don't you want to have a boss tell you when you have to be there?
That part. See,
right.
I've had a boss, and honestly, I've never had a 9-to-5
And
job.
you've had a couple good bosses, right? You told me in one of our conversations, you've had some good bosses.
I've had good brokers. I've had good brokers who are bosses, but ultimately then people need to understand that's your broker. That's not your boss.
Yes, absolutely.
In this business, you are the boss.
You are the boss. The broker should be serving you.
You're the boss,
Yes,
baby.
absolutely.
Own it. Girls, single moms, whatever, you can do it.
Yes.
You got to start from within, you got to focus.
And what about books, stuff like that? You read books, you listen to books?
So I like to listen to, like podcasts, I'm trying to get information from others, little snippets. I read a little bit of audios, honestly. I'm not really big on, don't get me wrong, you need to read, okay?
Yes.
If there's a good book that somebody suggests for me or something, I'm one that I'm not really good at finishing them, but I will read it in the beginning,
Yes.
and then I'll get to the end somehow and, put these things together. Take what resonates.
Right.
Because, you can read self-help books as much as you want, but if you don't apply it, it's never going to
I agree with
go
you there.
anywhere.
I'm the same way. I'm not a big like physical book reader. Sometimes I'll get both. I'll get an audiobook and the physical, and I'll go through the book and mark and stuff.
That's it.
Because I don't read I read really good now, but growing up I didn't learn reading habits.
Yes.
So I couldn't read till I was 12 years old.
Wow.
I couldn't spell till I was 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so literally I didn't develop the habits. As a matter of fact, it wears me out when I read.
Yeah.
I get tired.
Yeah.
And so I will grab a book, and if I get a book, I'll put it on my shelf and I'll listen to the audio version of it.
And audio came into play, and it's a game changer, if you ask me.
Oh yeah.
I'll pop that on in the truck. I'll pop it on while I'm cleaning at the house. You listen to it before you go to bed. I mean it. That's almost like I don't know, some type of zen,
Yes.
And it's just repetitive. I feel like if you're not reading physically, audio, it just helps you.
And who's your favorite kind of business read? Is it like Mel Robbins? Is it Tony Robbins? Is it Zig Ziglar? Is it Brian Tracy? Who's kind of your go-to when it comes to
So I already said his name earlier. Zig
Zig,
Ziglar.
the Zig.
That man,
He's the OG, huh?
He's the OG of the G's. And I honestly, I've listened to a lot of his stuff, and I wish he was still here with us so he had some stuff. But I believe that, if you don't know who he is, if you've never heard anything that he says, like,
most people that do and teach sales, that do podcasts, that do books, they got a lot of that from Zig, right?
Yeah.
Like, because he was the original
spinoff of Zig. Yeah. And I like him. I have always, when I first, got into the business, that was the first time I ever heard of him. And I've kind of been stuck on it.
Yeah.
I really am. That's, if I talk to Siri in the morning or Alexa in the morning, that's who she's putting on for me.
Awesome.
So, and it's just because obviously I listen to him a lot, so it just replays different audios, but don't even have to take anything from it that day. I'm telling you, it's going to put you in a different state of mind. And I really believe
just to have it on and
just to
listen
have
to
it on. I mean it. He's going to say something that's going to be like, you know what? I got to get up.
It's going to resonate. It's going to push you out. It's going to get you going.
That's it. That's it.
Because I'm the same way. I mean, inherently, I don't like waking up, super early. Like, I have a lot of friends that do and stuff. Maybe they do. I don't know. I was hoping when I'd get older, like I'm 45 now, I was hoping I would actually like want to wake up early, right? But I'm like, no, I kind of do more of my stuff, and I feel better when I'm waking up around 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm not like a 5 a.m.er. I just I can't jive it. So I'm trying. I just can't jive it.
Well, I feel like I have my seasons.
Yeah.
Okay. And it also plays into, are you exercising? Because some people, get up early so they can get that out of the way. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And
you have little
ones.
And
to get to their job or whatever too. Yeah. And I do. I have little ones. Like,
So people's life, you know what I mean? Like, I have seasons where I'm a 5 a.m.er, okay?
Right.
That is not where I'm at today,
right.
Okay? But I'm going to be honest with you. My eyes cannot stay closed past 6:30 a.m. right now. And for whatever I'm on right now, like, I may have a 5 a.m. Alarm because I have something going on that day. But I don't even have an alarm, guys. The sun comes up, the sun creeps up. I'm out.
You're out.
Let's go. I'm ready to roll. I'm up late and I'm up early.
Would your advice still be like to those? Because I mean, really, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, right? And there's no one rule of thumb for every single person. Like if they don't want to go be healthy, they're not going to go wake up at 5 a.m. and go be healthy, right? They're not going to go to the gym. Sometimes, if you don't want to be successful, you're not going to wake up early and go to that. That conference or that meeting,
right?
Or that morning meeting or that
real
morning
estate powwow,
right?
Like, you just gotta want it, and it looks different for everybody.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing though, like that does get me out of bed early is even if I don't want to, it's when I know there's something cool, like there's something that I'm going to learn from, or it's going to grow my business or grow my brand or grow, I'm out of bed. I'm ready to rock.
Yeah.
Like,
be prepared, and because anything can happen that day, and you just got to be ready to catch it, know, and it starts at home. It really does, that morning. I mean, I get it. Things happen in life where we were trying to go right and then we went left, or,
right.
But get back on track.
Let me ask you this. Something I say all the time, life happens for you.
Not to you.
Not to you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I believe it.
You believe that?
I believe it. I've been through a lot of ups and downs, trauma, whatever you want to call it. And in the end, God has brought me through.
Yes.
I've been through, a lot of things in life, and I have faith. And it may not always look like I want it to look, but eventually I realized why I went through that, and I learned something from it, to get to the next level, to the next day.
Yes.
Live in the now, prepare for the future, but we got to take advantage of what's right in front of us.
Yes. Well, there's only one life to live. My dear friend Jimmy Rex said one time, he said, when I had him on my podcast, he said, we might have another life after this life, but it's not going to look like this one.
Not going to.
So take advantage of this one. It's going to be different from this one. So enjoy this one.
Yes.
Don't prepare for the next one. You might want to prepare for the next one,
Right.
depending on what your religious beliefs are. But, make sure that you enjoy this one and live this one, because here is what we have.
We only have one.
We know this one. We're only going to have one like this.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
thank you so much for being on. Like, I highly respect you.
Thank
I'm so thankful that you decided to come on.
Thank you for
And
having me.
I'm pleased to have you on. I know it's going to help a lot of people.
I'm excited.
in
I'm excited.
the industry.
Yes, I adore you and your family.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be your friend.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Where can people find you online, Prechus?
So you guys can find me on Instagram. I believe it is realtor_P87. Or you can just type in my name on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. It's
Prechus Green.
Prechus Green. It's Prechus. And green, like the color, couldn't afford the E.
All right.
That's me.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Clozer Cult Podcast.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.